Ready, set, hut, hut.
As the hills of West Virginia resound with the sound of Golden Blue football.
Almost heaven, West Virginia.
Now let's bring on the Mountaineers. Goes around about the 50 to 10 to 5. A touchdown, West Virginia. He did it.
He did it. Patrick White. Touchdown, Tay Von Austin.
The Don Nehlen's Mountaineers enjoy walking in where angels fear to tread.
I think you think that these guys are going to fall over dead for you. Well, I got news for you. They're going to punch you right in the mouth. It's Mountaineer pride!
Nothing cheap, nothing dirty, but West Virginia football. West Virginia football.
We've no doubt tonight they shouldn't have played the old Golden Blue. Not this night!
They've done it. They've done it. A perfect season. And the Mountaineers, for the first time in history, undefeated and untied.
Don Nehlen and his Mountaineers, for the second time, have finished a regular season with an unblemished mark.
Ain't no stopping the Golden Blue.
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Welcome into another live stream here on the Country Roads webcast, June 9th edition, and yet another WVU football recruiting update coming at you. It's funny because, just last stream I told you guys we were talking some recruiting. We were talking about a little 2027 recruiting, and one thing that I told you guys was, hey, be on the lookout. We knew, 30 plus players were visiting throughout the month of June. We knew it was camp month, and I said I had a feeling we were going to get the 2026 commits to start rolling in. Didn't quite see them coming in this hot and heavy, but hey, already a trio involved. And funny enough, I had seen the commitment from Jalen Jones, had originally planned to do a stream on it this morning or a video for it this morning, didn't get a chance to. So I made a thumbnail with Jalen Jones, the defensive back, who was the first junior college addition to the 2026 class we're going to talk about. And before I got a chance to do that video, we added an offensive line commit out of high school in Rhett Morris, who we'll also talk about here in this stream. So I updated the thumbnail, added in Rhett Morris. So then I got Jalen Jones, I got Rhett Morris on the thumbnail. I'm about, 15, 20 minutes away from where I want to schedule this stream to start, getting everything lined up, getting all the tabs ready of all the news and notes. And lo and behold, see, yet another commitment has come in, another defensive back, this time from the high school ranks, and that is a Samaj Hill, I believe was the name there. So then we had to go back, add him into the thumbnail that you now see in its final incarnation. So not one, not two, but three commitments in the 2026 class. And we're going to talk about all three of the gentlemen who I just teased a little bit there. That'll be the main topic of the stream here. And then in the back half, we do have another WVU basketball roster update to discuss there, as the announcement of the South Carolina transfer was made official yesterday, I do believe, or maybe even been today, not 100%, but it happened, and we got to talk about it there. So we'll have a WVU basketball roster update on the tail end of this WVU football recruiting update that will lead off the show. Appreciate you guys that are watching live here on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. Those of you that are on Facebook or Twitch, be sure to come over to the Country Roads Webcast YouTube channel, subscribe here, so that way you can get access to the pre-recorded videos, podcast episodes, stay up to date on all this WVU football recruiting news, roster news, transfer portal news, all of that good stuff you can keep up with here on the channel. So be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're a big Mountaineer fan. And another way you can help us out is by hitting that thumbs up button if you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching live or on a playback. That'll help this video find more Mountaineer fans like yourself. If you didn't get a chance to chat here live, you can throw your thoughts in the comment section. Appreciate those interactions as well. I will get to some of the comments here that are in here live with me before we wrap up as well. But with no further ado, I think I teased it long enough, the WVU football recruiting update. So let's kind of go in chronological order here, right? Let's start with Jalen Jones, who announced his commitment yesterday to WVU. He's the first junior college prospect to join the 2026 WVU football recruiting class, which I'll pull up his commitment graphic momentarily, which now I think brings the class to 9 total commitments at this moment in time. And I expect that number to grow here in the coming weeks as well. Like I said, June's going to be a big month for this 2026 class. I feel like certainly it will hit double digits, already being up to 9 with the three that we're going to talk about here that I teased up a little bit there. Defensive back Jalen Jones, offensive lineman Rhett Morris, and defensive back Samaj Hill join our 2026 commit list. And the asterisk beside Jalen Jones' name is because he is a junior college edition, the first and only one yet of this 2026 class. They join linebacker Cam Dyer, defensive back Taj Powell, defensive back Emery Snyder, quarterback Jaron Hughley, running back Jet Walker, and tight end Sam Hamilton to currently make up the 2026 verbal commitment list for WVU for that class of 2026. So let's learn a little bit more about each of the guys. Let's start with Jalen Jones. As I said there, let me pull up his commitment announcement here on social media. Then I want to take a look at a couple of his standout plays from his freshman season there at the Fresno City Community College, which is where he's going to be coming to WVU from, because I think he had a standout year there, really. I mean, multiple interceptions. I think he had 5 picks, if I remember correctly. But let's see here the commitment announcement that he shared on social media here. You can see here the video that he took from his visit, a couple of nice pictures and a commitment graphic. It says, "Hail WV, go Mountaineers." And they put out a little statement here in this graphic. First and foremost, I want to thank God for blessing me with the ability to play the sport I love. And I want to thank my mom, especially for being there the whole journey, but also my whole family for the support and love. With that being said, I'm 100% committed to West Virginia. Hail WV, go Mountaineers. There, Jalen Jones. And if you want to follow him there, you can see it at Jalen Jones 6. Like we said, 6'2", 175-pound defensive back coming from Fresno City Community College. I think it'll be interesting to see if he ends up being a corner or a safety. I think he has the ability to play either up here at the Power Conference level. Played a little bit of deep safety there at Fresno City College, I think, because he is really where he excels is with his coverage skills. But Gabe Franklin being the leading recruiter makes me wonder if he's going to continue to play safety. We know Gabe Franklin is a safeties coach. I think it's definitely a possibility. But, of course, commits to WVU after the official visit there. You see the pictures from only played the freshman season there at the junior college, so he will have 3 years of eligibility remaining. Like we said, he is the first junior college commit here in this 2026 class. Strong coverage skills, I think, is what stands out most to me. We'll take a look at some of his plays here momentarily, but good size there, 6'2", 175 as well. And don't sleep on his tackling ability. Of course, that's going to come into play there, playing on the defensive side for sure, I think. And, a little bit out of the way there, coming across the country from California, but we've recruited, junior college prospects from California before. I believe even, Skylar Howard was at a junior college in California. He's originally a Texas native, but I believe when we brought him in, he was from a junior college in California. But I think that Jones is a little bit different because he is originally a California native as well, despite, going to JUCO there in Fresno City Community College. He kind of began his career there as well and did have 5 interceptions this past season there as a freshman at that junior college level. So with that being said, let's pull up a little bit of information on him here if we can. I think that I have his huddle page pulled up here, and we can take a look at some of his plays from his time there at the junior college level here. Like I said, a true freshman playing in junior college. You can only play 2 seasons at the junior college level, but in his 1 season, he really stood out. Multiple interceptions, and I think that that's impressive, and that's why he's getting a Power Conference offer here from WVU. And I think he's a guy that has the ability to get into the mix, probably right away next season and have a spot in that defensive backfield somewhere. So with that being said, let's take a look here. I think this is about 4 or 5 minutes long. We'll, watch about a minute or so of it as we usually do when it comes to these huddle tapes. Just watch about 60 seconds or so. Here's a highlight of one of his interceptions. You see him circled there, playing the deep safety spot as we talked about. A little bit of a scramble drill here. Probably reads the quarterback pointing deep there, and then watch him here read the football, high point it, go up and make the play. You like to see that there. Not bad ball skills there for a defensive back, especially, going up and getting it like that. Did catch it with the body, but hey, he got the interception. That's all that matters. Here he is again. You see him at the safety position. Look at him read that corner route and break on it. Watch him break on this. Let me rewind it again. Right, go back to you can watch him here. So he sees it, he's backpedaling, he sees the corner come, and he's already breaking on it before the quarterback even throws the ball. So he's got a jump start on this. Quarterback throws the ball, boom. Perfectly executed, jumps right in front of it, undercuts the pass, another interception there. And here's, you see some of the coverage skills that I'm talking about there in just a couple of plays that we've looked at here on his highlight package. Here he is again. He's off the screen right now, but they're trying to attack him again on a corner route. And yet again, a great play, man. Don't attack Jalen Jones on a corner route. 2 of the first 3 plays here on his film, he's undercutting that, reading it perfectly, and breaking on the ball right there. That's what you want to see, though, is a guy that pulls that trigger, breaks on the ball, and gets the interception. So like that from Jalen Jones. Let's look at one more play here And then, like I said, if you want to look at the full tape, check it out over on his huddle page. Here he is right there. This time a little bit more trying to attack him downfield, and it's a one-on-one jump ball scenario, and he goes up and steals it from the receiver. So you see kind of, 3 or 4 different style of plays there, but all the same result. They all result in Jalen Jones interceptions. So glad to have the junior college defensive back on board with WVU. Like I said, the first junior college player to join that 2026 class. And then after him, we had another commitment come through in the form of an offensive lineman here for the 2026 class, which marks another first, right? The first offensive lineman to join the 2026 class. We had the first JUCO edition. Now we got the first offensive lineman edition. Rhett Morris, let me go ahead and follow him. Puts it out on social media here at Rhett Morris 64, 100% committed. I'm home, tagging multiple of the West Virginia offensive line coaches and recruiting coaches. And you see his commitment graphic there that he shared on his social media page as well. So we got an offensive lineman joining this class out of New Jersey. And we'll pull up the 247 page here for Rhett Morris. The offensive lineman, 6'3", I believe he's actually over 300 pounds now, according to Rivals, if I'm not mistaken, but 6'3", 290 here on 247 when they initially rated him. Don Bosco Prep High School, a well-known program there in the state of New Jersey. And you can see here a 3-star grade, 85 grade, but a top recruit in New Jersey there, top 35 to be exact, according to 247. So you love to see that. Top 120 interior offensive lineman in the country. Army, Boston College, Coastal Carolina, James Madison, some other programs that were in the mix for him, Pitt as well, UNLV, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, some other programs that were in the mix for Rhett Morris. So, West Virginia not the only power conference program sniffing around for Rhett Morris. So I think that tells the tale that he's a pretty talented offensive lineman. Like I said, wasn't able to find any tape on him, unfortunately, in short order that I had to prepare for this stream, but in lack of that, I had to fill that gap. We can go ahead and pull up our guy Keenan Cummings over at Rivals, who does a great job covering these commitments. He did drop a Commitment 101 article talking a little bit about Rhett Morris. So let's see what he has to say here about the offensive lineman addition to West Virginia's 2026 class. Like I said, up to 305 now, according to Rivals, 6'3", 305. Pick the Mountaineers, offer scholarship offers from Pitt, VT, Wake Forest, Boston College, some of the programs that we just named there for you. And he initially committed to Wake Forest a little over a month, then backed off that pledge and reopened his recruitment. So in a way, a flip here for West Virginia at the very least, picking up a guy that had committed elsewhere and then ends up committing to WVU. Mountaineers coaching staff welcomed him for a spring visit and then set up an official visit this past weekend. Like we said, guys, he was one of the names that we had on the lengthy list of 30-plus names that were visiting here throughout the month of June, and we said commitments would be coming, and we do get one from Rhett Morris here, being targeted as an interior offensive lineman, first offensive lineman to join the 2026 class. Let's learn a little bit about his skill set here since we don't have any tape. Keenan Cummings states he's a good fit inside as he is physical and plays with a good motor, uses his hands well, and drives opposition in the run game, while also showcasing good feet and hands in pass protection. One thing evident on film is that he understands his strength and consistently plays to the whistle, moves well for his size, and is always seeking contact, clear open lanes in the run game, but is equipped in pass blocking to take those in front of him, displays the ability to move bigger bodies, showcases his strength and good length for an interior offensive lineman as well. Here's a little footage here we have on here. Of course, it's going to play an ad. So we'll let it play through that while we read the fitting the program section here. The offensive line is an area that needs to be restocked to the future, with 5 set to graduate at the end of this upcoming season and 4 more the season after that. The numbers are healthy in the room currently, but considering much turnover is on the horizon, no surprise that the coaching staff is attacking the position aggressively in their first full recruiting class. I'm sure he won't be the only offensive lineman that we bring in here. So let's see if we can get a look at a couple of plays. Here's a 13-minute tape actually on Rhett Morris. Haven't had a chance to check it out myself yet, but let's see here. There he is. I'm looking at left guard there, mauling a couple of guys. Look at him. There's what they talk about, playing through the whistle. They mentioned that in the write-up there. That's definitely evident on the very first play. Here he is again at left guard, this time in pass pro, and it's another, pancake finishing the block right there, just absolutely destroying his man. You can see why he's one of the top players in New Jersey there. That time picks up the blitzer at the second level to open up a hole for the run game. Let's look at one more play here. Again, at left guard, seems like he spent a lot of time there, and he is being recruited as an interior offensive lineman. My goodness, you can't help but smile and laugh at that one. Absolutely mauled that guy as well. So it looks very physical, very aggressive, seems like a hard edge player and a fit for this scheme, and a little bit of tape that I've had the chance to take a look at there momentarily, and a good write-up from Keaton Cummings over Rivals on him. So Rhett Morris joins the class as well. So we have defensive back Jalen Jones, the first junior college edition. We have offensive lineman Rhett Morris, the first offensive lineman in the 2026 class. How about another defensive back to add, though, making it 4 defensive backs in the first 9 commitments for WVU, much like we mentioned there with the offensive line and how they're going to have to restock. Same goes for the secondary. West Virginia's brought in a ton of pieces this offseason, but the majority of those are seniors and redshirt seniors. So a lot of those are going to be moving on after this season as well. So you need to restock that defensive back room. That's why you go out and get the junior college edition that we covered in Jalen Jones. And that's why you've added multiple defensive backs in this class. And how about another one to talk about that's commitment just came in prior to me starting this stream, and that is Samaj Hill. Let's pull up his announcement here on his social media, which he just put out recently. Thank you to all the schools that have recruited me. Thank you for taking the time to see my talent and offer me a chance to play for your schools. With that being said, how about it? A flip for West Virginia right here. Was previously committed to JMU, as he states here at the end. Without being said, I will be decommitting from JMU and flipping to West Virginia University. Hashtag flipping, hashtag go Mountaineers. So a flip for West Virginia here as they add Samaj Hill, the previous James Madison commit. And there you see a picture of Samaj on his visit to WVU as well. So another great job by this coaching staff, not only landing another talented defensive back, but flipping him as he was previously committed to James Madison. Let's take a look here at his profile here on Rivals. 6 foot 180, St. Joseph's there in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. No rating yet on Rivals, but you see some of the other programs that were after him there. James Madison, of course, we know he's previously committed to. Connecticut, Buffalo, Eastern Michigan in the mix there as well. There is his Rivals profile. Let's look at his 247 profile. Then we'll take a look at his huddle, and it's going to be much like what we just talked about there with Rhett Morris, an instant reaction, because, like I said, I just learned of his commitment prior to starting the stream, so didn't get a chance to watch his film, so we'll kind of react to it together. But here he is on 247. Listed as a safety here, 6 foot 180. So similar in size to Jalen Jones. If they're both going to play safety, then that may be the body, the type that West Virginia is kind of going after here. 6'1", 180. We said St. Joe's Prep High School in Philadelphia. He has been rated on 247, not yet rated on the composite, but in the 247, he's also an 85 graded 3-star, but he's one of the top 50 players in the state of Pennsylvania. So another commitment from a borderline state for West Virginia as they add Samaj Hill as well. So take a look at a couple plays from Samaj Hill really quickly here and pull up these junior season highlights on his huddle, and we'll react to a couple of his plays as well. And then we will one more time pull up the full commitment list for 2026 just to update that one more time here with these 3 additions now in tow. But let's look at Samaj Hill here. Here he is on the edge here. Is he blitzing? No, he's about dropping back into coverage, but he was lined up in the box there and gets an interception there. So kind of hit him on the line, let him drop back into coverage, and it results in a pick 6. Good speed shown there on the run back there after he gets the interception. Here he is lined up outside on a corner in breaking route. He breaks on the route and breaks it up perfectly, times that as well. Here he is covering a slot. So 3 different plays we've seen, and we've seen him in the box. We've seen him cover an outside receiver, and we've seen him cover a slot receiver. One time as a pick 6, one time as a pass breakup, and there is, not necessarily a pass breakup, but excellent coverage. No completion there as they were taking a shot at the end zone as he covers the slot man. Let's take a look here. One more play. Samaj Hill. This time they're checking in deep. Oh, great play there. Not only makes the interception, but looks like he got the toe down as well. Toe tap interception from Samaj Hill. Let's take a look at one more. Here he is lined up slot again. So maybe not only a candidate for, a corner or a safety, but could be that nickel position as well. We've seen him play slot here, a couple of plays here in this first minute of his highlight package here. So there it is, outbreaking route. Ooh, comes up and delivers the boom there on that one. So like to see that little bit of film there from Samaj Hill. Like I said, not too much of breakdown there because I was like kind of more of an instant reaction. Had a chance to look at his prior to this as he was the more recent of the 3 commits, but there it is, guys, a trio to add to this 2026 class. And we're not done by any means. There's going to be more commits coming out probably over the coming days, definitely throughout this month. This 2026 class is going to grow. But let's talk about where it stands right now. 9 commitments. We have tight end Sam Hamilton out of Ohio, running back Jet Walker out of Texas, my personal favorite commit of the class currently. Big fan of Jet Walker's. Quarterback Jaron Hughley out of Florida. Defensive back Emory Snyder out of Oklahoma. Defensive back Taj Powell out of Ohio. Linebacker Cam Dwyer out of Florida. And then the 3 we just highlighted here, junior college defensive back Jalen Jones out of California. Offensive lineman Rhett Morris out of New Jersey. And defensive back Samaj Hill out of Pennsylvania. So 3 firsts with all 3 of these guys. I just realized I knew that Jalen Jones was the first JUCO edition. I knew that Rhett Morris was the first offensive lineman edition. But Samaj Hill, the first commit from Pennsylvania here in the 2026 class as well. So there it is, the WVU football recruiting update. One more piece of recruiting news here, just a small little tidbit, is that before we switch over and do that small WVU basketball roster update, then I will get to some of your all's comments, is that there is another prospect that has West Virginia in his Final Four, and he is a high-rated 4-star safety in Chance Collins. West Virginia in the Final Four along with Utah, Texas Tech, Texas A&M. But I'll be honest, guys, I'd be shocked if he ended up with WVU. As you see, Jeff Cobb, who covers recruiting for Blue Gold News, sharing on social media as well, kind of similar sentiments, saying he has visited Utah and Texas A&M, didn't make it to Morgantown. So, don't get your hopes up, Mountaineer fans. I'd agree with that. And I also saw, he visited Utah and Texas A&M, but he's future casted to Texas Tech. I think it was either on 3 or Rivals I saw that had that. So either way you look at it, any of the other 3 that's in the top 4 seem like they have a better chance than the Mountaineers, but I'd love to be surprised. But West Virginia is in the Final Four for Chance Collins. So maybe not the best news there, but we do have some super positive news as those 3 commits have came in the 2026 class. 2020 sacks. Hey, maybe we'll get some sacks with some of those guys in the class, right? But the 2026 class continues to grow for the Mountaineers and will continue to throughout this month. So other than that, the last thing I had football-wise was I do want to continue to share these weekly, and then we'll switch gears and talk basketball, and that's the Weight Room Warriors. We shared the trio that was named last week. This week, we got wide receiver Preston Fox, linebacker Ben Cutter, and offensive lineman Brandon Homedy as the Weight Room Warriors of the week as shared by the WVU football social media account there. So that's what I had on the football side. Other than that, we're going to hit a quick WVU basketball roster update. Then I will catch up on some of y'all's comments before we call it a show here. Appreciate you guys watching live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Those of you on Facebook or Twitch, be sure to come over and subscribe to the CRW YouTube channel. Stay up to date on the WVU football and basketball news that we cover in addition to these live streams in pre-recorded form there. If you're watching on YouTube, though, help us out with that algorithm. Help us find other Mountaineer fans like yourself, and you can do that whether you're watching live or on a playback. You can hit that thumbs up button and help us out. If you didn't get a chance to chat live, throw your thoughts in the comments. Appreciate those interactions as well. So with that being said, let's switch gears. Let's talk a little WVU basketball. Just a quick little update as we do now have the signing of Morris Ugasuk announced for the basketball team as well. This coming out earlier today. Ross Hodge announcing the signing of Morris Ugasuk to a grant and aid for the 2025-2026 season. Morris is a 6'4", 170-pound junior guard from Helsinki, Finland, coming to West Virginia from South Carolina, where he played the last 2 seasons. We get the statement here from Coach Hodge. Morris has been part of an NCAA tournament and has great experience at the collegiate level. He's a great person and aligns with our vision of who we want to represent WVU and the state of West Virginia. This past season, as a sophomore, Ugasuk started 6 of 32 games, averaging 6 points and 1.5 rebounds, but shooting 38% from the field, and the most impressive number here, 41% from the three-point range. This is a spot-up specialist here, guys. 77% from the free throw line. Had a career-high 20 points against Vandy, 6 rebounds against Florida, and made 4 threes in a game against Texas A&M, at VT, at Indiana, and Oklahoma. So multiple games where he hit 4 threes last season, and all of those, highs for him in the season came against power conference competition. It looks like there, as you see some of those highlighted there for Ugasuk. Coming out there of Finland at the Drive Basketball Academy, which is where he played there, he averaged 17 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals. Also played for Patertint Helsinki in the Finnish first division, where he averaged 12 points, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. And he shot 60% from behind the three-point range there in Finland. That's insane. That's ridiculous. So he can really shoot the basketball, guys. Also played in the 2022 FIBA U18 European Championship, playing for the Finland squad there. Averaged 9 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and nearly 2 steals per game, as Finland had a third-place finish there. So he joins the roster, which we can now pull it up and highlight his addition. And now every player that we knew that was coming on for the Mountaineers has been added to the roster, save for true freshman Jaden Forsyth, who I'm sure will be added in the near future. And West Virginia will still round out this roster with probably a couple more transfer additions. We'll have to just wait and see who those are. But we know on the roster, forward Trayson Eaglestaff, a senior, forward Jackson Fields, a senior, guard Jasper Floyd, a senior, guard Honor Huff, a senior, forward Brennan Lorient, a senior, guard Chance Moore, a senior, center Harlan Obioha, a senior. Abraham Oyedir has returned to the team. We reported that on the last stream. Redshirt freshman center. True freshman DJ Thomas is a forward. And then, of course, we just highlighted guard Morris Ugusuk, who's joining the roster there as a junior. And, of course, as I've highlighted in the past, I believe you have your starters on the roster already with Jasper Floyd as your point guard, Honor Huff as your 2 guard, Trayson Eaglestaff is the 3-man, Brennan Lorient is the 4, and Obioha is the 5. And some really strong reserves with Chance Moore, Jackson Fields, and, of course, Ugusuk, who we just covered. I think that they will be some strong reserves, and you probably add a couple more into the mix here. But that's what the WVU basketball roster looks like now as it continues to round out after now the addition of Morris Ugusuk finally official. So that's what I had, guys. WVU football recruiting update, and a super positive one. 3 commitments already. They're not done. There will be more coming in the near future, and I'll continue to cover those on that side of things. Same goes for the WVU basketball roster as they continue to round it out for Coach Hodges' debut season. Other than that, take a swig of my coffee, catch up on some of your all's comments before we call it a show here on the June 9th stream here on the CRW. All right, guys. All right. We got Devil Dog 44 in here. Appreciate you. Say, let's go. Hey, let's go Mountaineers, Devil Dog. W Wildman 82 says, what's up, Jordan? Been a long time for me catching a live show. Hey, glad to see you in here for a live one, man. Always see you on the replay and the playback. And, of course, you're always appreciated for being a channel member here as well, W Wildman 82. But glad to see you catch one live today. Another channel member, Trey Edwards, says, WVU basketball got that transfer from South Carolina here recently. Yes, right on cue with us covering that, which, of course, you commented that at the beginning of the show long before I got to it. I see that there, Trey. But indeed, and I think it's great to add that sharpshooter to the roster. You know, West Virginia has 3 or 4 guys that are, you know, nearly 40% from three-point range on this roster, and that's exciting. I think it's going to be an exciting brand of basketball that Coach Hodge brings to the table for sure. Channel member Trey Edwards also adds, I have such a good gut feeling about Jet Walker. If we can keep him, I think he's going to be the next great back. And, man, you took the words right out of my mouth, Trey. But you guys have heard me wax poetic on him on multiple of these recruiting streams. I think, you know, he's already one of the top running backs in the class as a high-rated 3-star. I think he'll be a 4-star in short order once his senior season starts. And as you said, Trey, the only thing we got to do is keep our fingers crossed that we're able to keep him committed to WVU because that guy's going to be an absolute stud of a running back. I agree. Michelle Weintraub, good to see you as well. Appreciate you. Says Rich Raj and Coach Hodge are Rich Raj. Rich Raj and Coach Hodge. That's a little tongue twister. Rich Rod and Coach Hodge. Rich Rod and Ross Hodge. I like that. It goes together good, doesn't it? But she says they are both cooking. Looking forward to the football and basketball seasons this year. Me too. I agree with you there, Michelle. Appreciate you as always. Devil Dog 44 says, my girlfriend says I'm too involved in WVU sports, but football in particular. Is that even English? I don't know what that means. Hey, my wife would agree with your girlfriend. I can tell you that much for sure, Devil Dog. Hey, what's up, Matthew? Good to see you, brother. He said he sent me another one. Is it hopefully it's not one that I missed here. There may as well be a 4th one already coming in. I would not be surprised in the least. Indeed, there has been a 4th one already, guys. I told y'all. I told you it was going to keep coming. Cam Mallory has joined the 2026 class as well. I told you guys these things were going to keep rolling. So Cam Mallory, I'll try and highlight him better on a future stream where we can highlight him more. But 3-star defensive lineman joins the class. I will pull up his commitment graphic. Appreciate you sharing that with me there. My guy, Mountaineers Headline Matthew, helps me keep up with some of this. And already, in the time that we've been doing this stream, guys, we had 3, make it 4 commits now for West Virginia here over the past couple of days. Defensive lineman Cam Mallory announces on social media there. Hard edge, committed to the Mountaineers there as well. So another one in tow here for the 2026 class. And like I said, I'll further detail Mr. Mallory on the next update because, like I said, I'm sure he won't be the last. So we'll talk about multiple, maybe on tomorrow's stream, or if more come in today, maybe I'll try and do a stream later. I don't know if I'll be able to squeeze it in. Got a couple of things on the docket I got to get to. But we will cover Mr. Mallory more in depth on a future stream here on the CRW as we continue to keep you guys up to date on these recruits. Appreciate that, Matthew. I'm glad I caught that here at the tail end for sure. Drumwolf62 says, let's go Mountaineers, and hit the like button. And appreciate those reminders. Drumwolf, always appreciate you as well. Hey, my mom popped in the chat. The rare appearance there. Hey, love you too, Mom. Y'all be kind to her if she still is there in the chat. Hey, that's awesome. Let's see here. Drumwolf says, looks like a Grizzly player out there mauling the defense. Yeah, Rhett Morris looked good in those little highlight clips that we saw there. Didn't even get a chance to see those prior to the stream. Had a couple of instant reaction to highlights here throughout this stream for sure. Drumwolf says, thank you, Jordan. Excellent video as always. Hey, thank you for the kind words there, Drumwolf. Really appreciate that. Chris Gerald, appreciate you tuning in and chiming in as well. He says, don't forget to sub, like, and share. I appreciate those reminders, guys. Yes, helps the channel grow a ton, helps spread the word throughout Mountaineer Nation if you guys do those small things, and they don't cost you anything to hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, and, you know, copy and paste the link on your social media. That helps as well. WVU Chad says, great work, Jordan. Appreciate that. WVU Chad says, Rich Rod is in fuego. Indeed, man. Indeed. I can't even get through a stream here without him landing another commit. So great problem to have. Great problem to have. And Matthew agrees. My guy says, Rich Rod is on fire, and I don't see him stopping anytime soon. Couldn't agree more, man. The commits will keep rolling, and the WVU football recruiting updates will keep coming from us here at the CRW as those commits do come rolling in here throughout these summer months as this 2026 class builds. And any other football updates we have in the lead up to the start of the Rich Rod 2.0 era, we'll keep you up to date on here at the CRW. And same goes for the WVU basketball roster as they continue to fill it out and lead into the Coach Ross Hodge debut season as well. We'll keep you up to date on both those things here on the Country Roads webcast, but that'll do it for this one, guys. Appreciate you guys that tuned in and chimed in. Appreciate you guys that watch after the fact as well. Any way that you choose to do so, we appreciate your support here at the Country Roads webcast, and I'll talk to you guys here again in the near future. As always, I'm Jordan Cruz, and until next time, let's go Mountaineers.